Hi, my name is Natalie Pastorelli and I'm living with scoliosis. I didn't even know what scoliosis was when my doctor told me I had it in 2011 when I was 12 years old. I remember feeling confused when he asked my mom to come into the examination room when I was done. He had me bend over and touch my toes, and I felt my mom trace my spine with her hand. They both told me I had something called scoliosis. They told me this was a condition that made your spine curved, and that I was lucky enough that it wasn't curved to too much of an extent. My doctor told me I was lucky that I was so thin because he had lots of patients whom he could not see it on without an x-ray, and it progressed much worse. I didn't feel lucky when my mom took me in to get x-rays. I remember feeling ashamed. I thought that I had done this to myself for slouching or not sitting up straight at the dinner table. I now know that my scoliosis is idiopathic, which means that they don't know the cause, but we know that it runs in my family and is genetic because my grandmother had it as well as my aunt. This is my first x-ray. There's no degree reading on it. As you can see, I'm not properly standing up straight. My hips are crooked and my shoulders are uneven, as I'm trying my best to make it seem like there is as little a problem as possible. This misconstrued the natural curve of my spine. Nonetheless, my mom took me to a back doctor, or a pediatric orthopedist. This is my x-ray from my back doctor 5 months later. As you can see, my curve is measured at 25 degrees, which is the benchmark for bracing most adolescent patients. I was immediately fitted for a more aggressive night brace, which I was to wear 8 hours every day at night. This brace caused me extreme discomfort at first. I would lie in my bed unable to sleep for hours until I finally took the brace off and went to sleep without it. After a while, I got more used to it, but I could barely sit up, let alone walk around with it on, which made sleeping and functioning during those 8 hours very difficult. After a while, I was able to sleep through the night, and after a few months, I didn't even notice it anymore. This continued for 2 years. Emotionally, this was a tough thing to handle as a 12-year-old. Sleepovers and overnight field trips caused me a lot of stress because I knew that despite my best efforts, people would see my brace and ask questions. I had people tell me I was misformed, disabled, or even call me a robot. Furthermore, I was upset because the brace was seemingly not working. My scoliosis was progressing, and I could see it more and more every time I looked in the mirror. I became more conscious of what I wore and how to best hide my condition from the outside world. After 2 years, they took an x-ray of my hand to see if my growth plates were still open, meaning that I was still growing. Fortunately, they were done, and I was taken out of the brace, but my back was at a curve of 44 degrees, meaning I was right in the middle of the gray zone. Normally, when adolescents reach a degree of 40, they're considered for surgery, and 50 is the benchmark for needing surgery. So the doctor told me it was completely mine and my mom's decision. Having parents as doctors, I knew and they knew firsthand the risk that surgery would pose, especially to a younger patient like me. My mom took me to all kinds of therapies that claimed they reversed scoliosis, but unfortunately none of them worked. In addition, this took a lot of time out of my daily life, and I would have to drive up to an hour away just to go to 45 minutes of therapy. As a student athlete, this was extremely challenging mentally and time-wise. We ultimately decided that surgery was not the best option for me as a young, active female. I'm able to control my back pain through staying active and keeping my back muscles as strong as I can. That being said, occasionally I do have extreme back pain, but I have learned to deal with it in different ways that work for me. This is not the case for everyone, and I am not saying that everyone in my place should not get the surgery. It's a decision between you and your doctor, and I don't want to sway anyone either way. In the end, I am extremely grateful that I had a doctor that was aware enough to catch my scoliosis at such a small degree. Without this, I probably wouldn't be here today and would be at home dealing with the recovery from the scoliosis correction surgery. On top of that, I'm extremely grateful that I had such proactive and informed parents, because if I had started bracing even 3 months later, the degree of my spine could be much worse than it is now, since it progressed 15 degrees while in the brace. That being said, I can't even imagine how bad my back would be without the bracing technology that exists today. My compliance with wearing the brace every single night definitely contributes to the fact that I am not getting surgery today. As hard as it is, it's very important that you wear this brace every day if that's what you're prescribed with, because you will regret it later if your back progresses without your knowledge. My case is not the only one where scoliosis is a race against the clock. That's why it's so important to get your kids checked regularly, not just once a year, more than that, because it can change so much as they're growing, especially in those formative teen years. We hope that this video raises awareness about scoliosis as a prevalent issue and that it encourages people to get checked. Don't think it can happen to you because it happened to me.